Hey there. Tonight, we're going to leave the comfort of the warm, oxygen-rich world you know. We are going to a place where human beings are not meant to exist. Forget the stories of flags planted on summits. Forget the heroic selfies and the triumphs of ego. The truth of the high mountains is much darker and much quieter. We are going to the death zone. It is a place where the body begins to die the moment you arrive. A place where the wind screams like a banshee, where the cold is not just a temperature, but a predator that hunts for any patch of exposed skin to turn it black and dead. We are going to witness the silent, terrifying ritual of survival, the struggle to melt a cup of water, the fight to keep toes from turning to stone, and the desperate prayer for sleep in air so thin it feels like drowning. If you find a strange, hypnotic peace in the absolute indifference of nature, if the sound of a tent flapping in a hurricane helps you find the quiet center of your own mind, then go ahead and gently leave a like and subscribe to join us on the roof of the world. Now, let the warmth of your room become a luxury you can feel. Look at the walls around you. They are solid. They stop the wind. Turn off the light. Let the artificial world fade into the black. Lie down. Feel the weight of the blanket. It is heavy. It is safe. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs with rich, thick air, and out, letting the gratitude for that breath wash over you. You are safe here. But your mind is traveling. We are going up, way up, past the clouds, past the flight path of airliners. We are going to the south col of Mount Everest. The altitude is 8,000 meters, 26,000 feet. It is the start of the death zone, and the sun is setting. Honestly, it is hard to describe the light up here. It isn't like a sunset in the valley. There is no soft, golden hour that lingers for an evening. Up here, the atmosphere is too thin to scatter the light. The sky above is not blue. It is a deep, bruised indigo, fading into the absolute black of space. You can see stars even before the sun is gone. They look cold, unblinking. The sun sits on the western horizon. It is a blindingly bright, white disk. It doesn't look warm. It looks like a spotlight in a freezer. And then it drops. It slips behind the jagged ridge of the Himalayas. Dip, flash, gone. The transition is violent. One moment, you are blinded by radiation. The next, you are plunged into the gray. The shadow of the mountains stretches out across the world. It is a triangular shadow, miles long, reaching out over Nepal, over Tibet, darkening the valleys far below where people are eating dinner and watching fires. But here, there is no fire. There is only the rock. The South Col is a wasteland. It is a saddle of rock and ice trapped between Everest and Lhotse. Imagine a landscape stripped of everything soft. There is no grass, not a single blade. There is no soil, just shattered slate and limestone, ground down by eons of frost. There are no insects, no birds, no running water. It is the surface of the moon, but colder. The wind picks up. It is the jet stream, a river of air that circles the planet. Usually, it stays high in the stratosphere, but sometimes it dips down to touch the mountain. Whoosh! Can you hear it? It is a high-pitched shriek, a continuous, tearing sound. It sounds like the sky is being ripped open. It scours the rocks. It picks up crystals of ice hard as diamonds and flings them horizontally. Click, click, hiss. They strike your outer shell. You are standing there, watching the light die. You are wearing a down suit, a massive, puffy, yellow suit that makes you look like an astronaut. But even inside this suit, you feel the shift. The temperature is plummeting. 10 minutes ago, in the sun, it was minus 15 degrees Celsius. Now, the sun is gone. The temperature drops like a stone falling off a cliff. Minus 20, minus 25, minus 30, minus 40. Let's pause and think about minus 40. It is a strange number. It is the point where the Celsius scale and the Fahrenheit scale meet. It is a mathematical convergence of absolute misery. This is not just cold as you know it. Cold in the city is a nuisance. It makes you shiver. This cold is different. It is an active presence. It feels intelligent. It feels like a creature that is testing your defenses. It probes the seams of your jacket. It searches for a gap in your zipper. It looks for a millimeter of exposed skin on your wrist. If it finds it, it bites. Snap. The moisture in your skin freezes instantly. The cells burst. The flesh turns white, then waxy, then black. Frostbite begins its quiet work. It doesn't hurt at first. That's the trap. It just feels numb. A wooden sensation. You wiggle your toes inside your boots just to make sure they are still there. Wiggle, wiggle. You can feel them. Barely. The cold affects the world around you too. It changes the physics of materials. The nylon of your suit becomes stiff. It crinkles loudly when you move. Crinkle, crackle. The rubber of your oxygen mask hardens. The metal of your crampons becomes brittle. If you kicked a rock too hard, the steel might shatter like glass. Everything is fragile here, especially you. But the cold, honestly, the cold is not the worst thing. The worst thing is the air, or rather, the lack of it. Take a breath right now in your bed. Inhale. Feel how easy it is. The air rushes in, filling your chest. It satisfies you. Now, imagine that same breath at 8,000 meters. Gasp. You pull the air in. You expand your ribs until they hurt, but your lungs feel empty. There is only 1/3 of the oxygen here compared to sea level. 1/3. Imagine trying to survive on one meal every 3 days. That is what your cells are doing. Every breath is a disappointment. Your heart is hammering. Thump, 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 thump. It is beating fast, trying to circulate what little oxygen you have. You can feel the pulse in your throat, in your temples, behind your eyes. It is a desperate, mechanical rhythm. You are standing still, but your body is running a marathon. This is the death zone. It's not just a dramatic name. It is a biological fact. Above 8,000 meters, human life is impossible to sustain. You are dying. Slowly, yes, cell by cell, but you are dying. Your digestive system shuts down. Your body starts to consume its own muscle for energy. Your blood thickens. It becomes like sludge, trying to carry more red blood cells. You are a ticking clock. You have maybe 48 hours here before you simply stop. But for tonight, you just have to survive the darkness. You look around the South Pole. In the fading gray light, you see shapes. The rocks are jagged, black silhouettes against the dark snow. They look like crouching beasts, and you see other shapes. Old, shredded tents from expeditions long past, tattered yellow fabric flapping in the wind. Flap, flap, flap. They look like ghosts, and sometimes you see things that aren't there. Hypoxia, oxygen, starvation plays tricks on the mind. You might see a movement in the corner of your eye, a shadow walking. Is it a climber? Is it a yeti? Is it a friend who died years ago? You turn your head. Nothing. Just the wind swirling the ice dust. Swirl. Hiss. It is lonely. God, it is so lonely. Even if you are with a team, you are alone inside your suit. Alone inside your mask. Alone inside your suffering. The landscape does not care about you. It is indifferent. It was here 1,000,000 years before you were born. It will be here 1,000,000 years after you are gone. You are just a speck of warm biology on a continent of cold geology. The indifference is almost beautiful in a terrifying way. It makes your problems back home seem very small. Bills, traffic, arguments, they don't exist here. There is only physics, temperature, pressure, gravity. Gravity feels heavier here. Lifting your foot to take a step feels like lifting a lead weight. Heave, step, crunch. The crampons bite into the hard ice. You are walking towards your camp. You see the tents ahead. Small, glowing domes. Someone has turned on a headlamp inside. They look like fragile paper lanterns set adrift on a dark ocean. They look incredibly welcoming. Home, or as close to home as you can get in hell. The wind buffets you. It tries to knock you over. It pushes against your chest like a giant, invisible hand. Push, stumble, recover. You lean into it. You have to fight for every inch. The sound is deafening. You can't hear your own footsteps. You can't hear your own breathing. Only the roar. Roar, like standing on the wing of a 747. You lower your head. You focus on your boots. One step, then another. The cold is seeping through your layers now. You can feel it on your nose. A sharp, stinging pain. You rub it with your thick mitt. Rub, rub. Numbness is bad. Pain is good. Pain means the nerves are still alive. You reach the perimeter of the camp. There are oxygen bottles stacked in the snow. Old ones, new ones, orange and green cylinders. They are the currency of life here. You step over a guy line holding a tent down. The tent is vibrating violently. Drum, 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 drum. The fabric is stretched tight. It sounds like a machine gun. How can anyone sleep in that? But you have to. You have no choice. You reach your tent. It is a small, yellow geodesic dome. It is buried halfway in the snow to protect it from the gale. It looks tiny. How can two grown men fit in there? But it is your sanctuary. You kneel down in the snow. Your knees crunch into the ice. You reach for the zipper of the outer vestibule. Your hands are encased in massive down mittens. Like boxing gloves, you are clumsy. You fumble for the small metal tab of the zipper. The wind whips the fabric away from your hand. Fumble, miss, fumble, grab. You catch it. You pull. Zip. The sound is lost in the wind, but you feel the vibration. The door opens. A black hole leads into the small space between the outer fly and the inner tent. The vestibule. It is full of snowdrift. You crawl in. Shuffle. Drag. Crawl. You pull your legs in after you. You are out of the wind. Suddenly, the roar is muffled. It is still loud, but it is outside. You are inside the skin of the fortress. You sit there for a moment in the dark vestibule, just breathing. Gasp, gasp, gasp. Your mask is fogged up. Your goggles are frosted. You are exhausted. Just walking 50 meters has drained you as much as running a 5K. But you are here. You have survived the sunset. You have survived the walk. Now, the real work of the night begins. The work of staying alive until morning. You lean your head against the inner tent door. You can feel the heat of your tent mate inside. It feels like a miracle. You close your eyes for a second behind your goggles. The darkness is spinning, slightly. You are high on altitude, high on exhaustion. But you are grounded by the cold that is waiting right outside that thin layer of nylon, waiting for you to make a mistake. But you won't, not tonight. You take a deep breath of the dry, freezing air. It burns your throat, and you prepare to enter the inner sanctum. The vestibule is a strange limbo. You are not quite outside, but you are not yet inside. You are in the airlock. It is cramped. It smells of snow and old boots. You are kneeling on a pile of gear. Ropes, ice axes, backpacks. You need to get into the main tent. But first, you have to shed your armor. You are a knight returning from battle, encased in layers of plastic and steel. You cannot bring the sharp things inside. One slip of a crampon point could tear the floor of the tent. And if the floor tears, the snow comes in. The moisture comes in. The sanctuary is breached. So you have to perform the undressing ritual. It requires the flexibility of a yogi, which you do not have right now. You are stiff. You are bulky. You sit back on your heels. You reach down to your boots. Your feet look enormous. The Himalayan suits, those giant one-piece down suits, make you look like the Michelin Man. And on your feet, the boots are massive, triple-layer insulation, and strapped to them, the crampons. Steel spikes, 10 points down, 2 points forward. They are caked with ice, hard, blue ice jammed into the metal mechanisms. You have to get them off. You keep your heavy mittens on for now. You don't dare expose your fingers yet. You grab the rubber strap of the binding. It is frozen stiff. Pull, strain, snap. You have to use force. You wrestle with your own feet. Your breathing speeds up again. Huff, puff, huff. Just bending over at the waist compresses your diaphragm. It makes it harder to breathe. You feel dizzy. You have to stop. Rest. 5 seconds of work. 10 seconds of recovery. That is the ratio of the death zone. You pull the strap again. It pops loose. Clink. The crampon falls away from the boot. It hits the pile of gear. The sound of metal on metal is sharp and cold. You do the other foot. Wrestle. Pull. Clank. Done. The spikes are off. You are no longer a spider clinging to the wall. You are just a clumsy human again. Now, the snow. You are covered in it. Fine, dry, powder snow. It has been driven into every crease of your suit by the wind. It is in the folds of your elbows. It is stuck to the wool of your hat. If you bring this snow inside, it will melt. It will become water, and water is the enemy. Water makes down feathers collapse. Water freezes into ice sheets on your sleeping bag, so you have to brush yourself off. You use a stiff brush, or just your mitts. Scrub, swat, brush. The sound of nylon rubbing against nylon. Swish, swish, swish. You are meticulous. You are obsessive. You clean your knees, your shoulders, your hood. You are like a cat grooming itself, but clumsy and slow. The snow flies off in little clouds. Okay, you are relatively clean. You are de-spiked. You are ready to enter. You turn to the inner door. Another zipper. This one is circular. Zip. It opens, and you crawl through. Drag, shuffle, flop. You tumble into the tent. The first thing that hits you is the smell. It is a very specific smell. The smell of high-altitude camps. It smells of ozone, that sharp, electric smell of thin air. It smells of nylon. It smells of unwashed human bodies, stale sweat, old socks, breath. But honestly, it smells like safety. It smells like life. Your tent mate is there, a Sherpa named Tenzing, or Pasang, or Lakpa. He is sitting up in his sleeping bag. He looks at you. He nods. He doesn't smile. Smiling takes energy. He just acknowledges your existence. You made it. You zip the door shut behind you. Zip. The world is sealed out. The wind is now a muffled drumbeat against the walls. Thrum, thrum, thrum. The tent is tiny, maybe 4 feet high at the peak, 7 feet long. You cannot stand up. You can barely sit up straight. The walls slant inward. And look at the walls. Shine your headlamp on them. They are glittering. The inside of the tent is coated in frost, a layer of delicate white crystals. Where did it come from? It came from breath. 2 men, breathing in a small space. The moisture from your lungs hits the cold nylon walls and freezes instantly. It is a snow cave of your own making. You have to be careful. If you bump the wall, brush, you hit it with your shoulder, and it snows inside the tent. Flutter, drift. A shower of ice crystals falls on your face, down your neck. It is a miserable, cold shower. So you learn to move with extreme precision. You learn to occupy your own cubic meter of space without touching the boundaries. You sit back on your sleeping pad. Foam, yellow, closed cell. It protects you from the cold of the ground. You are sitting on the South Pole. Under you is thousands of feet of ice, but the pad reflects your heat back to you. Now, The boots. The second part of the undressing. You have to take off the big outer boots, the plastic shells. These are the millet boots, or La Sportiva. They are rigid, like ski boots. Your fingers are starting to get cold now. You have taken off the big mitts to work the laces. You are wearing thin liner gloves. You fumble with the laces. Pick, pull, loosen. Your fingers feel thick, clumsy, like sausages. The tactile sense is dull. You push the heel down. Grunt, shove, pop. Your foot slides out. Oh, the relief. The pressure on your ankles is gone. The blood can flow again. You feel a tingling. Pins and needles. That is good. That means the nerves are waking up. You pull the inner booty out of the shell. This is crucial. You cannot leave the booties inside the shells overnight. If you do, the sweat inside them will freeze. They will become blocks of ice, and in the morning, you will never get them back on. You have to sleep with your booties. You have to put them inside your sleeping bag, against your chest, or under your armpits. You have to use your own body heat to dry them out. It is disgusting, maybe, but it is survival. You place the plastic shells in the corner of the tent. Clunk. They look like empty robot feet. Now, you are just in your socks. Thick, wool socks. You rub your feet. Rub. Rub. You check your toes. Are they white? Are they black? They are pale, waxy, but you press them. Press. Color returns. Pink. Good. You still have toes. You have won that battle for today. You look around the tent. It is chaos. Gear is everywhere. Coiled ropes, carabiners clinking together. Jingle, clink, food wrappers, oxygen cylinders. It looks like a bomb went off in a camping store, but there is an order to it, a logic. The oxygen bottles are stacked by the door. The food is in a hanging mesh bag. You settle in. You are wearing your down suit, the big, yellow, puffy one-piece suit. It is incredibly warm. Inside the tent, it is actually too warm. The tent traps body heat. It might be -30 outside, but in here, it is a balmy -10. You start to unzip the suit. Zip. The sound of a long zipper opening from neck to crotch. You peel the top half down. You tie the arms around your waist. You are wearing fleece, layers underneath. Black, soft. You feel lighter, less restricted. You can move your arms. You lean back against your pack. You are tired, bone tired. It is a tiredness that goes into the marrow. Your eyelids feel like lead, but you cannot sleep yet. There is work to do. The ritual of water. You look at the stove in the middle of the tent. It is a small, hanging stove, suspended from the ceiling by chains so it doesn't tip over. It is the hearth, the altar. Tenzing reaches for a lighter. Flick, spark, whoosh. The blue flame roars to life. It is a loud, aggressive sound. Hiss, like a jet engine taking off in your living room. But it is beautiful. It is heat. It is energy. He takes a bag of snow, clean snow, gathered from a drift outside. He pours it into the pot. Crunch, crumble. And now you wait. You watch the snow melt. It turns from white powder to gray slush to clear water. It takes forever. The boiling point is low here, but the melting is slow. You stare at the flame. It is hypnotic. Blue, orange, yellow, dancing in the draft. It is the only living thing in this frozen world besides you. You hold your hands out to it, not too close, just enough to feel the radiation, warmth. It seeps into your fingertips. It thaws the numbness. You close your eyes. The wind is shaking the tent walls. Slap, snap, slap. The frame creaks, creak, groan. But you are inside. You have stripped off the armor. You have checked your toes. You have lit the fire. You have built a bubble of life in the vacuum of space. For the next few hours, this nylon shell is your entire universe. And for now, it is holding You let out a long breath. Wheeze! You can see your breath in the cold air, a cloud of steam. It hangs there for a moment, then dissipates. You are here. You are alive, and the night has only just begun. The stove is roaring. The tent is vibrating. But look at your tent mate. Look at Tenzing. He is sitting cross-legged on his sleeping pad. He is peeling a wrapper off a bar of chocolate. His movements are slow, but they are not clumsy like yours. He does not pant when he bends over. His chest rises and falls in a steady, rhythmic cadence. In, out, while you are gasping, drowning in the thin air. He is comfortable, or if not comfortable, at least at home. You are a visitor here, a tourist in the death zone. Your body is fighting a losing war against the altitude. Your blood is turning into sludge, thick with red blood cells trying desperately to grab oxygen that isn't there. Your heart is beating itself to death. But Tenzing, he is different. He is a child of the thin air. Let's drift away from the tent for a moment. Let's travel back in time. Not just years, centuries. We are going to the Nangpa La. It is a high mountain pass, a bridge of ice connecting Tibet and Nepal. It sits at 5,700 meters, 19,000 feet. Imagine a line of people walking through the snow. It is the year 1500, or maybe 1,450. The dates are lost in the mist. These are the ancestors of the Sherpa. They are leaving the high plateaus of Kham in eastern Tibet. They are migrating. Look at them. They are wrapped in rough wool, yak skins, and felt. They do not have down suits. They do not have plastic boots. They wear boots made of yak leather, stuffed with dried grass for insulation. They are walking into the sky. They are driving their yaks before them, massive, shaggy beasts, their breath steaming in the freezing air. Snort, grunt, crunch. The yaks break the trail. The people follow. They are climbing higher and higher. They are crossing the spine of the Himalayas. Why? War? Famine? Or just the call of the hidden valleys? They cross the pass. The wind bites their faces. The same wind that is shaking your tent right now. It is an ancient wind. They settle in the valleys below Everest, the Khumbu, and there they stay. They do not go down to the lowlands. They stay high. They live at 4,000 meters. They farm potatoes in soil that is frozen half the year. And over the next 500 years, something miraculous happens. Evolution takes over. The mountain begins to sculpt them. Not just their culture, but their biology. It edits their DNA. Think about your own blood right now. You, the lowlander. Your body panics at altitude. It thinks you are bleeding to death, so it makes more red blood cells, more trucks to carry the oxygen, it thinks. But too many trucks cause a traffic jam. Your blood gets thick, viscous, sticky. It strains your heart. It clots in your veins. It makes you cold because it can't flow to your fingers. But the Sherpa blood, it is thin. It flows like water, fast, smooth, efficient. They don't produce too many red blood cells. They don't panic. Instead, they have a secret weapon, nitric oxide. It is a gas, a molecule. Their bodies produce huge amounts of it. And what does it do? It relaxes the blood vessels. Imagine a hose that is pinched tight. That is your veins right now. Now imagine the hose relaxing, opening up, widening. That is the Sherpa vein. The blood flows freely. It carries warmth to the toes. It carries oxygen to the brain. It is a superhighway compared to your traffic jam. And deeper, inside the cells themselves, the mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every cell of your body. They burn oxygen to make energy. Your mitochondria are like old, inefficient engines. They sputter. They waste fuel. They need a lot of air to run. The Sherpa mitochondria are Formula One engines. They are hyper-efficient. They can squeeze energy out of the thinnest air. They run lean. They run clean. This isn't training. This isn't willpower. This is genetics. It is a gift from the ancestors who walked over that pass 500 years ago. A gift bought with survival. You look at Tenzing again. He is melting snow. He looks bored. He is a biological miracle sitting 3 feet away from you. He has a gene, EPAS1. Scientists call it the super athlete gene. It comes from the Denisovans, an ancient species of human that went extinct thousands of years ago, but it lives on in him. It allows him to breathe the air that kills you. It humbles you. You thought you were strong because you trained in a gym, because you ran marathons. But here, strength doesn't matter. Efficiency matters. Adaptation matters. You are a guest in his house, and his house is the roof of the world. He hands you a cup of tea. "Tea, brother," he says. His voice is calm. He is not afraid of the night. He knows the mountain. His grandmother told him stories of the Yeti. His grandfather told him stories of the gods who live on the summit. To him, Everest is not a project. It is not a goal. It is Myolang Sangma, the goddess. She is the mother. She provides. She destroys. You treat her with respect. You burn juniper for her. You hang flags for her. And in return, maybe, just maybe, she lets you breathe. You take the tea. Your hand is shaking. His hand is steady. You feel a profound sense of gratitude, not just for the tea, but for him, for the generations of survival that led to this moment, for the blood that flows so easily, for the lungs that open so wide. He is the anchor. You are tethered to the mountain, but you are also tethered to him. If you fall, he catches you. If you freeze, he warms you. The wind howls outside. Skreek. It sounds angry. It sounds hungry. But inside the tent, looking at the calm face of the Sherpa, the fear recedes a little bit. You realize that humans, times live here. Maybe not you. Not forever. But times humans asterisk. We are adaptable. We are survivors. We can turn our blood into wine. We can turn our cells into furnaces. We can walk through the snow and make a home in the clouds. You sip the tea. It is hot, sweet. It warms your chest. You watch Tenzing check the stove. He adjusts the flame. Blue, yellow, blue. He is tending the fire of life. You lean your head back against the frost-covered wall. You listen to his breathing again. In, out. It is a lullaby, a rhythm of survival. You try to match it. You try to tell your body, it's okay. We can do this. Be like him. In, out. Your heart slows down. Just a fraction. Your blood feels a little less heavy. You are learning. You are adapting. Slowly, painfully, but you are here. And for tonight, that is enough. The tea is finished. The warmth fades from your belly too quickly. The cold creeps back in. It always does. It sits on your shoulders like a heavy, wet cloak. You look at the stove again. The blue flame is hissing. Hiss, sputter, hiss. It is the focal point of the room, the altar. Now begins the ritual of water. You might think making water is simple. You turn a tap, it flows. But here, water is a precious metal. It is alchemy. You have to create it from nothing. Tenzing reaches for the pot. It is aluminum, dented, blackened by soot. He reaches into the vestibule, that cold limbo between the inner and outer tent. He drags in a bag, a stuff sack filled with snow and ice. He gathered it earlier, hacking it out of the glacier with an adze. Hack, hack, chip. The ice here is old. It is not fluffy snow. It is hard, compacted by the wind. It is névé, granular ice. He scoops a handful of these ice pebbles. They clatter into the pot. Clink, clatter, tinkle. It sounds like broken glass. He puts the pot on the burner. Now, you watch. This is the slowest television show on Earth. You watch the phase transition of matter. At first, nothing happens. The flame licks the bottom of the pot. The aluminum heats up. The ice at the bottom begins to sweat, sizzle, a tiny sound. A drop of water hits the hot metal and evaporates instantly. Then, a pool forms, a small, gray puddle at the bottom. The ice crystals float in it. They look like diamonds, sharp, faceted. They spin slowly in the convection currents. You stare at them. Your mind is empty. Hypoxia does that. It strips away complex thought. You can't do algebra right now. You can't remember your phone number, but you can watch ice melt. You can watch it with an intensity that borders on religious devotion, because that water is your life. If you don't drink, your blood gets thicker. The frostbite gets closer. The headache gets worse. You need that fluid. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, the water level rises. The ice chunks get smaller. They lose their sharp edges. They become rounded, soft. They dissolve into the gray soup. Why gray? Because there is dust in the ice. Rock flour, ground up mountains, and maybe a bit of soot from the stove. It isn't Evian. It is Everest. The smell of the melting snow fills the tent. It smells like ozone, like a freezer that hasn't been defrosted in 10 years. It smells of minerals. Tenzing stirs it with a spoon. Scrape, scrape, scrape. The spoon hitting the metal pot. It is a rhythmic, domestic sound, a kitchen sound. It feels strangely out of place at 26,000 feet, like making soup on the moon. Steam begins to rise. Wisps, white curls of vapor. They rise up to the roof of the tent. They hit the cold nylon, and they freeze instantly. This is the irony. You are boiling water to stay warm, but the steam is making it snow inside your house. The frost grows on the walls, feathery, delicate. If you breathe too hard, it falls on you. Finally, the water boils, but it doesn't boil like it does at home. At sea level, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. It rolls. It churns. Here, the pressure is so low, it boils at 70 degrees. The bubbles are lazy, big, sluggish. Bloop, bloop, bloop. It isn't really times hot, asterisk. It is just very warm. You can stick your finger in boiling water up here and not get burned immediately. Don't do it, though. Tenzing turns off the stove. Click. The roar dies. Silence rushes back in. The wind takes over again. He pours the water. He has a thermos. A battered, green vacuum flask. He pours it carefully. Glug, glug, glug. Every drop is precious. You don't spill a single drop. He hands you the cup. Plastic cup. Warm in your gloved hands. You bring it to your face. The steam warms your nose. It melts the icicles hanging from your nostrils. Drip. You take a sip. Let's describe the taste. It tastes flat. Boiled water loses its oxygen. It tastes dead. It tastes metallic. It tastes of the aluminum pot and the gas fumes. It tastes of the ancient dust of the Himalayas. But to you, it is nectar. It is the best thing you have ever tasted. It washes down your dry, sandpaper throat. It hits your stomach. You can feel the heat spreading, radiating out from your core. It pushes back the cold. It tells your brain, we are okay. We have resources. You drink it greedily. Gulp, gulp, gasp. You have to breathe between gulps. You can't hold your breath to drink. Drink, breathe, drink, breathe. It is a rhythm. You finish the cup. You want another, but you have to wait. The pot is empty. The ritual begins again. More ice, more clattering, more waiting. It takes hours to melt enough water for 2 men. Hours of sitting, staring, stirring. But this is the job. This is what you do at night. You don't sleep. You make water. You become a factory of hydration. You look at Tenzing. He is patient. He knows that this is the secret. The mountains are not climbed by climbing. They are climbed by drinking, by keeping the machine running, by tending the flame. You watch the blue fire again. You let your eyes unfocus. The flame dances. It creates shadows on the tent walls, shadows of the gear hanging from the ceiling. They look like prayer flags, swaying. You listen to the wind outside. Howl, shriek. It sounds frustrated. It wants to get in. It wants to blow out that tiny blue flame. But it can't. Not yet. You have the nylon. You have the zipper. You have the stove. You are winning. Just by sitting here. Just by boiling water. You are winning. You take the second cup. You hold it against your cheek. Comfort. Pure. Simple. Thermal comfort. You close your eyes. The taste of the metal water lingers on your tongue. You let the warmth lull you. Your head nods. The micro-sleeps begin. Drifting. Floating on a raft of warm water. In a sea of ice. The stove hisses a lullaby. Yes, it is a white noise, a shield against the silence of the void. You are safe. You have water. You have heat. Drink. Rest. Melt. Repeat. The cycle of the night. The ritual of the high places. The stove is off. The blue flame has flickered and died. Click. Pfft. The roar of the combustion stops, and immediately the silence of the mountain rushes back in to fill the void. It is a heavy silence, pressing against your ears. And with the silence comes the cold. While the stove was running, you lived in a microclimate of warmth. The tent was a tropical island in a sea of ice. But now, the heat source is gone. You can feel the temperature dropping. It is a physical sensation, like a weight settling on your shoulders. The air in the tent grows crisp. Your breath, which was invisible near the flame, now blooms into thick white clouds again. Huff, cloud, huff, cloud. You watch the steam from the water pot drift up and freeze instantly on the ceiling. It is time to build the final defenses. It is time to retreat into the armor. You are sitting on your foam pad. You are wearing your Himalayan suit, the big, yellow, one-piece down suit. Let us take a moment to appreciate this object. It is not just a piece of clothing. It is a life support system. It is a wearable house. Run your gloved hand over the fabric. Swish, swish. It is Pertex, or ripstop nylon. Smooth, cool to the touch. But underneath that thin skin lies the magic. Down, goose down. 800 fill power, or maybe 900. The highest quality in the world. Think about what that means. Think about the geese, gray geese, living in the cold marshes of northern Europe or Asia. Underneath their waterproof feathers, they grow this soft, chaotic fluff. It has no quill. It has no structure. It is just a cluster of thousands of tiny filaments. Each filament has tiny barbs, and these filaments trap air. That is the secret. The suit is not keeping you warm. The feathers are not keeping you warm. Pasterisk you. Times are keeping you warm. Your body is a furnace, burning the chocolate and the tea you just consumed. You are radiating heat at 37 degrees Celsius. The down suit simply catches that heat. It creates a dead air space, a layer of air that cannot move. Moving air steals heat, convection. Still air hoards it. You are wrapped in a cloud of stagnant, warm air. Millions of tiny pockets. Imagine yourself shrinking down, smaller than a snowflake. You are walking through the landscape of your jacket. It is a forest of white feathers, soft, silent. The air here is still. It is warm. It is a perfect insulator. You feel a sense of gratitude for the birds. Nature engineered this solution millions of years ago. Humans just borrowed it. You zip the suit up to your chin. Zip. The sound is reassuring. It is the sound of a door locking against the night. The draft tube, a tube of down behind the zipper, seals the gap. No wind can get in. You pull the hood up. It is like entering a cave. The sounds of the tent are muffled. The wind outside becomes a distant rumor. You are in your own private atmosphere. You can hear your own blood rushing in your ears. Whoosh, whoosh, the sound of your own existence. But the armor has layers. Underneath the massive yellow shell, there is the mid-layer. Fleece, polar tech. You can feel it against your ribs. It is different from the down. It is synthetic. Plastic bottles, melted down and spun into thread. It is soft, fuzzy. Texture. It mimics the fur of a bear or a sheep. It traps air too, but differently. It wicks moisture. Remember the sweat? The enemy? The fleece is working right now. Even while you sit still, it is pulling the humidity from your skin and pushing it outward. Capillary action. It is a pump, moving the wetness away from you, keeping you dry. Dry is warm. Warm is life. And underneath the fleece, the base layer, the skin against your skin. Merino wool, from sheep in New Zealand. Think of the sheep standing on a windy hillside in the southern Alps. They don't freeze. Why? Because of this wool. It is a miracle fiber. It doesn't itch. It feels silky. And it has a property called heat absorption. When wool absorbs moisture, it actually generates a tiny amount of heat. Chemical heat. Your shirt is actively warming you. You wiggle your shoulders. You feel the layers sliding over each other. Silk against wool. Wool against fleece. Fleece against nylon. Friction. It feels secure. You are swaddled like a baby. There is a primal comfort in being wrapped tight. It calms the nervous system. The anxiety of the death zone fades a little. You are not naked against the elements. You are shielded. Now, you must attend to the extremities. The weak points in the fortress. Your hands. You take off the heavy down mitts for a moment to adjust your sleeping bag. The cold attacks instantly. It bites your fingers. Nip. Sting. You look at your hands. They are dirty. The nails are bluish. The skin is dry and cracked like old parchment. These hands have tied knots, held ice axes, melted snow. They are tired. You rub them together. Rub, rub, rub. Friction, heat. You blow on them. Your breath is a warm wind. You put them back into the mitts, or better yet, into the pockets of your fleece. You press them against your stomach, the core, the hottest part of you. You feel the heat transfer from your belly through the fabric to your palms. It feels like holding a mug of hot cocoa. The blood vessels in your fingers dilate, flow. The blood rushes back in. You feel the throb, thump, thump, in your fingertips. It hurts a little, the hot H's, but it is a good pain. It is the pain of life returning. It tingles, like thousands of tiny champagne bubbles bursting under your skin. You wiggle your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They obey. They are still yours. And your feet. You reach down. You are wearing the booties, the inner liners of your climbing boots. They are made of foam and aluminum foil. They look like moon. Boots. Your feet are warm inside them. You wiggle your toes. Wiggle. Wiggle. You can feel the socks rubbing against the foam. You press your feet against the sleeping pad. You can feel the resistance. Your feet are the furthest thing from your heart. The blood has to travel a long way to get there. Down the aorta, down the femoral artery, past the knee, into the ankle. It is a long journey for a red blood cell. But the heart is strong. Pump, pump. It sends the warmth all the way down. You visualize the warm blood reaching your toes, turning them from waxy white to pink. You are a closed loop of energy. Nothing gets out. You are conserving every calorie. Now, the final layer, the sleeping bag, the sarcophagus. It is rolled out on the pad. It is thick, massive. It looks like a cloud that has been captured and sewn into a tube. It is rated to -40 degrees. The expedition bag. You look at the zipper. It is a heavy-duty zipper. Cold metal. You have to get inside. This is a logistical challenge. You are wearing a suit that makes you twice your normal size. The tent is tiny. You have to wriggle, scoot, shuffle, thrust. You push your feet into the footbox of the bag. The nylon of the bag is cold at first, shockingly cold. It hasn't been occupied all day. It is at ambient temperature, -20 inside the tent. You have to heat it up. You are the heater. You slide your legs in. Rustle. Whoosh. The sound of the bag lofting. The down expands. It sucks in air. It swells. You slide your hips in. Your torso. You are now encased in 5 inches of feathers on all sides. You zip it up. Zzz. From your waist to your chin. The draft tube seals the zipper. You pull the hood up. You tighten the drawstrings. Cinch. The hole around your face shrinks. Smaller. Smaller. Until it is just a blowhole. Just enough for your nose and mouth to protrude. You are a caterpillar in a cocoon. You lie back. Now, the waiting game begins. The warming phase. At first, you shiver, chatter, shudder. Your body is reacting to the cold nylon of the bag. It vibrates to generate heat. Don't fight it. Let it happen. Shivering is the engine revving up. You curl into a ball. Fetal position, minimizing surface area. You wrap your arms around your knees. You wait. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And then it happens. The tipping point. You feel a pocket of warmth forming around your feet, then around your kidneys, then around your chest. The bag is reflecting your heat back at you. It is a mirror for infrared radiation. The shivering stops. Your muscles relax. The tension melts out of your back. You extend your legs. You stretch out. You occupy the space. It is warm. Incredibly, impossibly warm. In the middle of the wildest storm on Earth, in the middle of the freezing night, you have created a pocket of the tropics. It feels like a miracle. It feels like cheating physics. But it is just insulation. You nuzzle your cheek against the lining of the hood. It is soft, taffeta, smooth. It smells of you, and down, and faint traces of old expeditions. You are safe. Nothing can touch you in here. The wind can scream all at once. The frost can grow on the tent walls. The oxygen can thin out. But inside the bag, the laws of thermodynamics are on your side. You are a battery, storing energy. You close your eyes. The darkness inside the hood is absolute, velvet black. You listen to your own breathing. It is loud in the confined space. Ha, hoo. It sounds like the ocean. It sounds like the wind. But it is inside. It is the rhythm of life. You feel the chest of the sleeping bag rise and fall with you. It is breathing with you. You and the gear are one organism now. Symbiosis. You feed it heat. It feeds you protection. You feel a heavy, drowsy sensation spreading from your stomach. The food coma. The warmth coma. Your eyelids are heavy. So heavy. You let them drop. You let the weight of the down press you into the foam pad. You let the pad press you into the mountain. You are anchored. You are warm. You are armored. The fortress is complete. The drawbridge is up. The fire is lit inside the keep. You can rest now. Soldier, you can rest. The battle against the cold is won for tonight. Let the warmth seep into your marrow. Let it thaw the frozen parts of your soul. Drift, float in the cloud of feathers. Sleep. You are warm. The down suit and the sleeping bag have done their work. The shivering has stopped. The warmth coma has set in. Your body is heavy. It feels like it is made of lead or stone. It is sinking into the foam pad, sinking into the glacier. You are ready to sleep. You want to sleep more than anything in the world. Your eyelids are glued shut. Your muscles are turned off. But your brain is confused. It is fighting a war with itself. This is the paradox of the death zone. Usually, sleep is the time when the body repairs itself. It is a time of low energy, low consumption. But here, the air is so thin that low consumption is dangerous. If you breathe slowly, like a normal sleeping person, your oxygen levels drop. They drop into the hypoxic zone, the danger zone, so your brain has a panic button. It is called the carotid body, a tiny cluster of chemoreceptors in your neck. It tastes your blood. It tastes the oxygen. And right now, it tastes nothing. Empty, empty, empty. So it screams, "Wake up! Breathe!" Let us experience the cycle, the Cheyne-Stokes respiration. It is not a disorder here. It is a rhythm of survival. It happens in stages. Stage 1, the drift. You are falling asleep. Float, drift, sink. It feels wonderful. A soft, velvet darkness wraps around your mind. Your breathing slows down. In, out, in, out. It becomes shallow, gentle. You are relaxing. The tension leaves your chest. The intercostal muscles go limp. You are dreaming. Maybe you are dreaming of a beach, a warm, tropical beach. You can hear the waves. Whoosh, whoosh. The sun is hot on your face. You are safe. But while you are dreaming, your chemistry is changing. Because you are breathing slowly, your oxygen saturation is plummeting. 80%, 75%, Bavender seizure, 65%, and your carbon dioxide, CO2, is building up. No, actually, it's the opposite. Because of the altitude, you have been hyperventilating all day. You have blown off all your CO2. Your blood is alkaline, and CO2 is the trigger to breathe. Without CO2, your brain thinks, "I don't need to breathe." So, you stop. Stage 2, the apnea. Silence. Absolute, physiological silence. Your chest does not move. Your diaphragm is still. Air does not enter. Air does not leave. You are in a state of suspended animation, the 0 point. In the tent, the only sound is the wind. Your tent mate, Tenzing, is doing the same thing. If you were awake, you would hear it. A long, terrifying silence from his sleeping bag. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It sounds like death, but it isn't. It is the pause before the storm. Inside your body, the alarm bells are starting to ring. The oxygen sensors in your brain are freaking out. Critical, critical, oxygen at 60%. Emergency restart. The brain sends a massive electrical jolt to the diaphragm. Contract. Stage 3, the gasp. Hew, hew, hew. Your eyes fly open. Your body jerks. You suck in air like a drowning man breaking the surface of the water. Gasp, gasp, gasp. Your heart hammers against your ribs. Thump, 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 thump. Adrenaline floods your veins. You are awake. You are terrified. You feel like you are suffocating, like someone is sitting on your chest. You tear at the opening of your sleeping bag. You need air. You need space. You look around the dark tent. Where am I? Who am I? Disorientation. The hypoxic fog. For a few seconds, you don't know if you are alive or dead. You don't know if you are on Everest or in your bed at home. The panic is intense, primal. The lizard brain fighting for existence. But then, the reason returns. You remember, I am in the tent. I am at 8,000 meters. This is normal. This is the cycle. You force yourself to calm down. You take control of your breathing. Slow down, you tell yourself. In, out, in, out. You hyperventilate deliberately. You flood your system with oxygen again. The panic recedes. The heart rate slows. The adrenaline washes away. You are tired again. So tired, the heaviness returns. And you begin the drift again. Back down into the velvet dark. Back down to the beach. Until the next alarm. 3 minutes later, this is your night. A loop. Drift. Stop. Gasp. Recover. Drift. Stop. Gasp. Recover. It sounds like torture, but here is the secret. You can learn to surf it. You can learn to ride the waves of breath. Don't fight the gasp. Accept it. Welcome it. The gasp is your friend. The gasp is your body saving your life. It is the watchdog. The watchdog barks to wake you up, checks the perimeter, sees that you are alive, and then lies down again. Good dog, you think. Good body. You start to disassociate from the struggle. You become an observer. You watch your body stop breathing. You watch it start again. It becomes a rhythm, a strange, high-altitude lullaby. Silence, silence, silence. Gasp. Breathe, breathe. Silence. You are floating on a raft in a stormy sea. The waves lift you up, the gasp, and drop you down, up and down, up and down. It is hypnotic. It creates a trance state. You are not asleep, but you are not awake. You are in the liminal zone, the twilight between worlds. And in this zone, the dreams come. They are not normal dreams. They are high-altitude hallucinations, vivid, technicolor, lucid. Because your brain is starved of oxygen, the barriers between reality and imagination dissolve. You close your eyes, and you are instantly transported. Where do you go? You go to the green places. Your mind craves what it lacks. It lacks oxygen. It lacks moisture. It lacks life, so it builds them. You dream of a forest, a rainforest. You can smell the damp earth. You can smell the rotting leaves. You can feel the heavy, wet drops of rain on your face. Plip, plop, splash. It is so real. You can see the ferns, giant green ferns unfurling. You can see a jaguar moving through the trees. You reach out to touch the wet bark of a tree. It feels cool, slimy with moss. You take a deep breath in the dream. The air is thick, thick like soup. It is full of oxygen. You drink the air. It tastes like honey. Gulp, gulp. It is ecstasy. Then, ooh, the gas brings you back. Back to the dry, freezing tent. Back to the frost on the walls. Back to the smell of nylon and ozone. The contrast is shattering. For a moment, you mourn the forest. You miss the rain. But then you drift again. This time, you go to the ocean. You are swimming. The water is warm, turquoise. You are weightless. The heavy down suit is gone. The heavy boots are gone. You are naked in the water. You dive down, deep. The pressure of the water holds you. It feels like a hug. You see fish, bright neon fish, orange, blue, yellow. They dart around your fingers, flicker, dart, flash. You don't need to breathe underwater. In the dream, you have gills. You are a creature of the deep. You are perfectly adapted. You swim through a coral reef. The colors are blinding. Your brain is firing random neurons, creating a fireworks display of memory and sensation. It is trying to keep you entertained while it keeps you alive. Then, you, the gasp. You are back in the bag. Your throat is dry as sandpaper. You reach for the water bottle. You take a sip. It is real water, not ocean water. It grounds you. I am here. I am climbing Everest. It seems like a strange thing to do when you could be swimming in a dream ocean. Why are you here? Why did you leave the green and the blue for the white and the gray? The question floats in the thin air, but you don't have the energy to answer it. You just close your eyes. You look at Tenzing. He is asleep too, or his version of sleep. He gasps too, but gently. Snort, huff, silence. His rhythm is steadier. He is the metronome. You try to sync your breathing with his. It helps. It makes you feel less alone. You are two engines idling in the cold. You share the same air. You share the same struggle. There is a communal dreaming happening. Maybe he is dreaming of the forest too. Maybe he is dreaming of his yaks in the valley below. You wonder if your dreams are mixing in the small space of the tent. The air is full of pheromones and exhaled thoughts. You drift again. This time, it is a memory. A specific memory from your childhood. You are sitting in a kitchen. Your mother is baking bread. The smell of yeast, the smell of flour, the heat of the oven. It is the warmest memory you have. You can hear the radio playing softly in the background. You can see the dust motes dancing in the sunbeam coming through the window. Everything is slow. Everything is safe. You put your head on the table. The wood is smooth. You feel a hand on your head. Stroke, stroke. It is the most comforting sensation in the world. You want to stay there forever. In the kitchen, in the warmth. Don't wake up, you tell yourself. Stay in the kitchen. But the mountain is jealous. The mountain wants you back. The wind shakes the tent. Slap. A violent gust hits the nylon. The noise breaks the dream. The kitchen dissolves into snow. You are back. You check your watch. You fumble with the sleeve of your suit. You press the light button. Glow. 2 a.m. Only 2 hours have passed. It feels like a lifetime. It feels like you have lived 3 different lives in those dreams. Time dilation. Relativity. Time moves slower when there is less oxygen, or so it seems. 6 more hours until the sun hits. The tent. 6 more hours of the cycle. Drift. Stop. Gasp. Recover. You sigh. Wheeze. But you are not angry. You are not panicked anymore. You have accepted the rhythm. This is the price of admission. If you want to stand on the roof of the world, you have to sleep in the basement of hell. That is the deal. You snuggle deeper into the bag. You pull the drawstrings tighter. Only your nose is exposed. The tip of your nose is cold. Ice cold. But the rest of you is warm. You visualize the warmth. You imagine a golden ball of light in your stomach, radiating out, pushing back the night. You visualize your red blood cells, tiny little ships, carrying cargo. Row, row, row. They are working hard for you. You thank them. Thank you. Blood. Thank you. Heart. Keep going. We will rest when we get down. We will sleep for a week when we get to Kathmandu. But not now. Now. We surf. You catch the next wave of sleep. It lifts you up, higher and higher, past the tent, past the summit, into the stars. You are floating in space. It is quiet here. No wind, no breath, just peace, the ultimate apnea. You float among the constellations. Orion, the bear. They are your friends. They are watching over the tiny yellow tent on the tiny white mountain. You are small. You are infinite. You are asleep. Finally, deeply, for a few precious minutes. You are gone. You wake up again. It is 3 a.m. or maybe 4 a.m. The cycle of gasp and recover has taken its toll. You are exhausted. Your head is throbbing. A dull, rhythmic pounding behind your eyes. Thump, thump, thump. It feels like your brain is swelling against the inside of your skull. This is the high-altitude headache. It is caused by the capillaries in your brain dilating, trying desperately to capture more oxygen. They are stretched to the limit. You feel nauseous. The tent is still shaking. The wind hasn't stopped for a second. You lie there, staring at the frosted ceiling. You realize you cannot go back to sleep like this. The air is too thin. The panic is too close to the surface. You need help. You need the dragon's breath. You roll over. The sleeping bag rustles loudly. Swish. Crinkle. You reach out into the darkness of the tent. Your gloved hand fumbles around the floor. You touch the cold nylon. You touch a carabiner. You touch a boot. And then you find it. Metal. Cold. Smooth. Cylindrical aluminum. The oxygen bottle. It is heavy. It feels dense. Like a bomb. And in a way, it is. It is packed with potential energy. Compressed gas. Life. squeezed into a metal tube at 3,000 pounds per square inches, pounds per square inch. You drag it closer. It scrapes across the sleeping pad. Scrape. You cradle it against your chest. It is freezing cold. It sucks the heat right out of your downsuit. But you love it. You love it more than you have ever loved a physical object in your life. This bottle is your external lung. It is your umbilical cord. You find the regulator, the metal device screwed to the top of the bottle. It is covered in a thin layer of rime ice. You brush it off with your thumb. You feel for the flow dial. It is a small, ridged knob. You turn it. Click. 1 liter per minute. Hiss. The sound begins. It is the most beautiful sound in the world. It is not loud. It is a soft, steady sibilance, like a snake whispering a secret, or like the sound of rain on a tin roof, far away. It is the sound of technology defying nature. Nature says, there is no air here. The machine says, I have brought my own. You find the mask. It is made of silicone, soft, pliable rubber. It is attached to the regulator by a clear plastic tube. You bring the mask to your face. It smells of new plastic, sterile, artificial. It is a stark contrast to the smell of the tent, sweat, and old soup. It smells like a hospital. It smells like safety. You press it over your nose and mouth. The seal is tight. The rubber is cold against your skin for a second. Then it warms up. You pull the elastic strap over your head. It snaps against your hood. You are locked in. You look like a fighter pilot. You look like an alien. But you don't care, because the gas is flowing. Take the first breath. Inhale. The gas hits the back of your throat. It is dry, incredibly dry. It has 0 humidity. It tickles your throat, but it is cool, and it is rich. It flows down your trachea. It fills your bronchial tubes. It expands the millions of tiny sacs, the alveoli in your lungs. And then the magic happens. Let us go microscopic. Imagine the interface between the air and the blood. For the last 8 hours, your red blood cells have been starving. They have been flowing through the lungs, opening their little molecular arms and catching nothing. Maybe 1 oxygen molecule here, 1 there. They have been returning to the heart empty-handed, but now the floodgates open. The alveoli are flooded with O2, pure, concentrated oxygen. The red blood cells are shocked. They grab the oxygen. They gorge on it. They turn from a dark, bluish-purple, doxygenated blood to a bright, vivid crimson, the color of life. This supercharged blood rushes back to the heart. Whoosh! The heart pumps it out, to the brain, to the fingers, to the toes. The effect is almost instantaneous. It is not a buzz like caffeine or alcohol. It is a clearing. Imagine a window that is covered in mud and frost. You can't see out of it. Now, imagine someone taking a squeegee and wiping it clean in 1 stroke. Swipe, clarity. The headache begins to recede. The pounding behind your eyes softens. The nausea fades. Your vision seems to sharpen. Even in the dark, the shadows seem more defined. The world feels less dreamlike and more solid. You feel human again. You are no longer a dying animal gasping for air. You are a person lying in a sleeping bag. The panic center in your brain, the amygdala, stops screaming. It looks at the blood chemistry. Oxygen levels normal. Stand down, it says. Cancel the emergency. Your heart rate slows down. Thump, 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 thump. It drops from 100 beats per minute to 70 or 60. The engine stops racing. It settles into a smooth idle. You lie back. The mask feels comfortable now. It feels like a part of your face. You listen to the hiss. Hiss. It is a metronome. It regulates your breathing for you. You don't have to fight for air anymore. The machine gives it to you. It pushes the air gently into your lungs. You close your eyes. The periodic breathing stops. The terrible cycle of stop, gasp, recover is broken. Your breathing becomes steady, rhythmic, in, out, continuous. You feel a wave of relaxation wash over you. It starts at your scalp and flows down to your toes. Your muscles uncoil. The tension that you have been holding in your shoulders for days, it melts. You feel warm. Why? Because oxygen fuels the fire. Metabolism is combustion. With more oxygen, your internal furnace burns hotter. You can feel the heat generating in your core. It radiates out. Your toes, which were cold and numb, start to tingle. The blood is getting through. The capillaries are opening. You wiggle them. They feel alive. You are a closed system of warmth and air. A cyborg, part man, part machine, sustained by the down suit, the shell, and the oxygen bottle, the lung. You feel a strange affection for the bottle. It is a finite resource. You watch the gauge in your mind. The stained needle is dropping. Slowly. 200 bars. 190 bars. 180 bars. You are burning time. You are burning money. But it is worth it. Every minute of this sleep is bought with compressed gas. It is the most expensive sleep on Earth, and it feels like luxury. It feels like sleeping in a feather bed at the Ritz, compared to suffocating darkness of an hour ago. This is heaven. The dreams change too. Without oxygen, your dreams were frantic, hallucinogenic, desperate. With oxygen, your dreams become calm, rational. You drift into a dream about walking, just walking, not climbing, not suffering, walking through a meadow. The grass is green, the sky is blue, but it is a normal blue, not the black blue of the stratosphere. You are breathing easily in the dream. You feel light. You meet people you know, your friends, your family. They are smiling. You are doing well, they say. Keep going. It is a gentle dream, a supportive dream. The dragon's breath has chased away the nightmares. You wake up briefly. The mask has shifted slightly. You adjust it. You press it tighter against your cheek. Condensation has formed inside the mask. Your warm breath hitting the cold silicone. It drips, drip, drip. Water runs down your chin. It is annoying, wet, cold, but you don't mind. You lick the water. It tastes of rubber and salt. It is moisture. You need moisture. You swallow it. You check the regulator again. You turn the dial up just a fraction. Click. 1.5 liters per minute. Decadence. Pure indulgence. The hiss gets louder. Louder means more life. HSSSSSSSS. You feel a rush of gratitude. For the engineer who designed this valve. For the factory worker who filled the tank. For the Sherpa who carried it up here on his back. This cylinder didn't fly here. It walked here. Someone carried this heavy metal tube up the Lhotse face. Up the yellow band. Up the Geneva spur. Step by step. Gasp by gasp. So that you could sleep tonight. It is a gift of labor. A gift of suffering exchanged for comfort. You silently thank the porter. Thank you, brother. You promise yourself you will not waste it. You will use this energy tomorrow. You will climb well. You will be worthy of the gas. You look over at Tenzing. He is wearing his mask too. He looks like a sleeping pilot. The blue mask covers his face. The hose snakes down into his sleeping bag. You can hear his regulator hissing too. Two snakes whispering in the tent. Hiss, hiss. It is a duet. Stereo breathing. It creates a soundscape that blocks out the wind. The wind is still screaming outside. Howl, howl. But it feels further away now. The oxygen creates a psychological bubble. You are separated from the hostile environment. You are in the oxygen bubble. Inside the bubble, you are smart. You are capable. You are sane. Outside the bubble, you are a dying animal. You stay in the bubble. You curl up. You pull the sleeping bag hood over the oxygen mask. Now you are double cocooned. The sound of your own breathing is amplified. Trip. Aish, 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 aish. It sounds like the ocean surf, rolling in, rolling out, rhythmic, eternal. You visualize the oxygen molecules as little lights, little glowing orbs, floating down the tube, entering your body, lighting up your blood. You are glowing from the inside, a bioluminescent creature in the deep, dark sea of the South Col. You feel heavy, but it is a good heavy. The oxygen gravity. It pulls you down into the mattress. It pulls you down into sleep, real sleep, not the fragmented, gasping, terrifying micro-sleeps of before. This is the deep dive, the REM cycle, the restorative shut-eye. Your brain cells are throwing a party. They are repairing the damage. They are knitting the memories. Stitch, 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 repairing the frayed edges of your sanity. You sink deeper, deeper. The hiss of the regulator becomes a continuous tone. The vibration of the universe. You let go. Of the tent. You let go of the mountain. You are just a consciousness floating on a stream of gas. You are safe. You are breathing. You are alive. The dragon is not breathing fire. The dragon is breathing life into you. Ride the breath. Ride the hiss. Sleep. Sleep in the arms of the machine. Sleep. The oxygen flows. The regulator hisses. You are warm. You are hydrated. You are chemically balanced. But as you drift deeper into the night, another layer of awareness opens up. It is the layer beyond biology, beyond physics. It is the layer of spirit. You look over at Tenzing again. He is sleeping or meditating. His eyes are closed, but his lips are moving slightly. Mumble, mumble. A tiny, rhythmic movement. He is reciting a mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. He says it silently, under his breath, synchronized with the hiss of the oxygen. He is weaving a net of words. To you, the wind outside sounds like chaos, like a jet engine, like a monster. But to him, the wind is a prayer wheel, a giant, invisible wheel turning the air, sending blessings to the four corners of the universe. He touches his neck. You can see his hand move to his throat. He pulls out a thin, red string. A sung dud, a protection cord. It is just a piece of cotton thread, knotted in the middle. But it is not just thread. It was blessed by the Rinpoche, the High Lama, at the monastery in Pangboche, or maybe Tungboche. The Lama blew his breath onto it. He tied the knot while reciting a secret mantra. He sealed a protective spirit inside the knot. Tenzing rubs the knot between his thumb and forefinger. Rub, rub, rub. It is a tactile anchor. He feels the rough cotton. He feels the hard lump of the knot. It tells him, you are protected. You are not alone. This string is stronger than the nylon of the tent. The nylon can tear. The poles can snap. The oxygen can run out. But the blessing? The blessing is permanent. It creates a circle of protection around him. And because you are his tent mate, you are inside the circle too. Let us travel back with him. Let us leave the freezing darkness of the South Col for a moment. Let us go down to base camp. 2 weeks ago, the day of the puja, the blessing ceremony. It is a bright, sunny morning at 5,300 meters. The air is crisp. The sky is a piercing, electric blue. In the center of the camp, there is an altar, a stone cairn built from gray granite rocks. It is decorated with juniper branches. Smell. Can you smell it? The thick, resinous, spicy smoke of burning juniper. Shukpa. It smells like pine, but sweeter. It smells like a forest fire in heaven. The smoke rises up in a thick white column. It goes straight up towards the summit of Everest. It is a signal, a smoke signal to the gods. We are here, it says. We ask for permission. The Lama is sitting cross-legged on a rug. He is wearing deep red and saffron robes. He holds a bell and a small drum. Cling, clatter, boom, cling. The sound cuts through the thin air. He chants. His voice is incredibly low, a throat-singing rumble. Grum, It vibrates in your chest. It vibrates in the rocks under your feet. The Sherpas are standing around the altar. They are not wearing their high-altitude suits yet. They are wearing jeans, jackets, sunglasses. They look relaxed, but they are serious. They have thrown handfuls of rice into the air. Scatter, clatter. The rice falls on the altar. It falls on their shoulders. It falls on the climbing gear. Look at the gear piled against the stone altar. Ice axes, crampons, helmets, boots, your gear. It is lying there, being smoked, being blessed. The Lama sprinkles holy water on it. He sprinkles beer on it. Why? Because these are the tools of violence. An ice axe strikes the mountain. A crampon stabs the ice. To climb is an act of aggression against the goddess, so the tools must be purified. They must be forgiven before they are even used. Forgive this steel, the prayer says. Let it bite the ice, only to save a life, not to conquer. You remember watching the smoke curl around your ice axe. You remember thinking it was just a superstition. But now, lying in the dark at 8,000 meters, you realize it wasn't. That ice axe held. That rope held. That boot held. Maybe it was the engineering. Or maybe it was the smoke. The smoke coats everything. It leaves a microscopic layer of holiness. You can almost smell the juniper now. In the tent. A phantom scent. Cutting through the smell of plastic and ozone. It makes you feel grounded. It connects this terrifying alien place to the green valleys below, to the earth, to the trees, to life. Tenzing is thinking of the goddess, Mio Langsangma, the immovable goddess of the turquoise face. She lives on the summit. She rides a golden tiger. She is beautiful. She wears robes of silk. She holds a bowl of food and a mongoose spitting jewels. She is the provider, but she is also fierce. If you disrespect her, if you pollute her mountain, if you boast of your conquest, she will send the wind to blow you off the ridge. She will send the avalanche to bury you. She will send the kumbu cough to break your ribs. Tenzing does not boast. He is humble. He shrinks himself. I am small, his mind says. I am an ant. I am nothing. Please, mother, let me pass. I do not seek to stand on your head. I only seek to touch your hem. Let me pass, and I will go back down. This humility is his armor. The mountain cannot crush what is already flat. He visualizes the goddess. He sees her face in the darkness of the tent. Is she smiling, or is she frowning? The wind shakes the tent again. Wham! A violent gust. The tent pole bends inward, nearly touching your face. Tenzing does not flinch. He just whispers louder. Om Mani Padme Hum. He is talking to the tiger. Easy, easy. He imagines offering the tiger a bowl of milk. He imagines the wind softening, turning into a purr. The power of visualization. In the West, we call it psychology. In the East, they call it creation stage meditation. If you visualize safety strongly enough, you create a bubble of reality. Tenzing is holding the roof up with his mind. He is holding the fabric together with his faith. And you are leaning on him. You don't know the prayers. You don't know the goddess. But you can feel his field of calm. It radiates from him like the heat from the stove. You borrow his faith, whatever he believes in. You think, I believe in it too. I believe in the tiger. I believe in the red string. Please, mother, let us pass. And then, the prayer flags. You remember the strings of flags at the South Col. When you arrived, you saw them, tattered, faded, shredded by the wind. Blue, white, red, green, yellow, sky, air, fire, water, earth. They are strung between the tents. They are strung on the rocks. In the dark, you can hear them. Flap, 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 flap. It is a frantic sound, like a bird trapped in a room. But Tenzing hears something else. Every time the flag flaps, a prayer is released. The wind reads the mantra printed on the cloth. The wind recites the prayer. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. The wind is doing the praying for you. You don't have to stay awake and pray. The flags are doing it. They are the automatic praying machines. They are generating good karma, millions of prayers per minute. The stronger the wind, the more prayers are sent. So, the storm is actually a blessing? A massive amplification of the signal? Tenzing smiles in the dark. Maybe. It is a comforting thought. The roar outside is not a threat. It is a choir, a billion voices chanting for your safety. Listen, the wind says. We are carrying you. We are weaving a net of air to catch you. You listen to the flapping. It changes rhythm. It becomes a heartbeat. Flap, 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 flap. It matches the rhythm of the oxygen regulator. Hiss, flap, hiss, flap. Technology and tradition, working together. The machine and the mantra, keeping the demon of the cold at bay. You start to visualize the lungta, the wind horse, the mythical creature printed on the center of the prayer flags. A horse that gallops on the clouds, carrying a jewel on its back, the jewel of enlightenment, the jewel of wish fulfilling. Imagine that horse now, galloping through the death zone. It is made of light. It is made of wind. It runs circles around your tent. It tramples the frost. It kicks the snow away. It is guarding you. You feel a warmth in your chest that has nothing to do with the down suit. It is the warmth of connection. You are connected to Tenzing. Tenzing is connected to the Lama. The Lama is connected to the Buddha. The Buddha is connected to the universe. It is a chain, a rope team. You are roped up to the divine. And the divine does not fall. You touch your own neck. You don't have a red string, but you have a zipper pull. You have a necklace. You have a memory of home. You hold on to it. You create your own totem. My daughter, you think. My wife. My garden. That is your puja. That is your anchor. You visualize your home, not just the building, the feeling. The smell of coffee on a Sunday morning, the feeling of grass on your bare feet. You project that image onto the tent wall. It glows. It pushes back the ice. The tent becomes a temple of memory and hope. You look at the frost crystals on the ceiling again. They are beautiful, fern-like, patterns, fractals. They catch the tiny light from the LED on the oxygen regulator. They sparkle, like stars, like the jewels of the goddess. Maybe this isn't hell. Maybe this is just a very high, very cold heaven. A place where everything is stripped away until only the essential remains. Breath, warmth, faith, love. You feel a sudden surge of affection for Tenzing. This man you barely know. This man from a different world. He is your brother. He is keeping you alive with his calm. You want to say, thank you, but you can't speak. The mask is on. The effort is too great. So you send the thought, thank you, Tenzing. Thank you for the string. Thank you for the smoke. He shifts in his sleeping bag. He sighs. A long, contented exhale. He feels it. The connection is made. The circuit is closed. The wind drops, just for a second. A lull. Silence. In that second, you hear it. The deep, resonant hum of the mountain itself. The geological frequency. It sounds like a bell tolling deep underground. Dong. It is the heartbeat of the earth. It is slow. One beat every 1,000 years. You are resting between the beats. You are safe in the pause. The wind returns. Roa, R. But the moment of silence was enough. It reset your clock. You are not fighting time anymore. You are flowing with it. You close your eyes. The prayer flags are still flapping in your mind. blue, white, red, green, yellow, sky, air, fire, water, earth. They are weaving a blanket over you, a blanket of 5 colors. It covers the sleeping bag. It covers the tent. It covers the whole South Col. The death zone is covered in prayer. It is neutralized. It is sanctified. You can sleep now. The goddess has given permission. The tiger is guarding the scent. The wind horse is carrying your dreams. The red string is holding your soul. Let go. Surrender to the high altitude. Surrender to the night. It is holy here. Dark, cold, terrifying, but holy. Sleep. Sleep in the sanctuary of the wind. Sleep. The prayer has faded. The visualization of the wind horse has galloped away into the sky. Now, there is only the fact, the brute, physical fact of the night. It is the wolf hour, 3 a.m., or maybe 3:30 a.m. Time has lost its meaning. The numbers on your watch are just liquid crystals floating in the dark. They don't signify progress. They only signify duration. You are in the deep middle, the coldest part of the night. The sun is as far away as it can possibly be. It is shining on the other side of the planet, warming the oceans of the Pacific. But here, the earth has turned its back on the light. The temperature outside the tent has dropped to its absolute nadir. -35, -40, it doesn't matter. Cold is no longer a number. It is an atmosphere. It is a solid object. It presses against the tent walls. You can feel the weight of it. The nylon fabric of the tent has changed. Earlier, it was flexible. Now, it is rigid. The moisture in the fabric has frozen. The tent has become a shell of ice. It doesn't flap anymore. It times shudders asterisk. Crump, crump, crump. It sounds like someone is hitting it with a heavy pillow. A dull, thudding sound. The wind has changed too. Earlier, it was a scream, a shriek. It had personality. It was angry. Now, it is a drone. R, 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 R. It is a continuous, low-frequency vibration. It vibrates in your teeth. It vibrates in the zipper of your sleeping bag. It has become white noise, total, encompassing, absolute, and, strangely, it is soothing. It drowns out everything. It drowns out the fear. It drowns out the thoughts of home. It drowns out the question, why am I here? There is no room for questions in the roar. There is only room for being. You surrender to the noise. You let it wrap you up. It is a blanket of sound, a heavy, wool blanket pulled over your head. You are inside the drum, and you are safe. You check your body, the system check. You do it without moving. You send your mind down the neural pathways. Brain, foggy, but functioning. The oxygen is keeping the lights on. Heart, beating. Thump, thump, thump. It is a slow, heavy beat, like a hammer wrapped in velvet. It is working hard, pushing the thick blood through the resistance of the cold vessels. But it is steady. It is a good engine. Lungs, filling, emptying. The rhythm is set by the hiss of the regulator. You are not gasping anymore. You have found the groove. Stomach, quiet. The food you ate, the freeze-dried curry, the chocolate is being processed. This is the most important part. Your digestion is the furnace. Let us visualize the inner sun. Close your eyes. Look inside your own torso. Imagine your stomach and your liver. They are breaking down the chemical bonds of the food, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. They are ripping the molecules apart, and in that tearing, heat is released. Exothermic reaction. Visualize it as a small, golden fire burning in your solar plexus. A ball of magma. It is glowing, orange, red, gold. It is not a roaring bonfire. It is a banked fire. Coals, hot, dense, long burning. You feel the heat radiating from that center. It travels up your chest. It warms your heart. It travels down your legs. It warms your femoral arteries. It travels to your kidneys, the batteries of life. Focus on that heat. I am a generator. I am creating my own climate. You are not at the mercy of the elements. You are a sovereign nation of warmth. The sleeping bag captures it. The down suit captures it. You are recycling your own energy. Nothing is wasted. You feel a sense of pride in your own biology. Millions of years of evolution have led to this, to a mammal lying in the snow, staying warm by the power of chemistry. You are a miracle of thermodynamics. You are waiting. Endurance. What does that word mean? Usually, we think of it as grit, clenched teeth, fighting. But at 8,000 meters, endurance is not fighting. Fighting takes energy. Fighting burns oxygen. Endurance here is yielding. It is softness. It is becoming like water, like the willow tree in the wind. You do not resist the night. You accept it. You accept the weight. You accept the confinement. You are trapped in a bag, trapped in a suit, trapped in a tent, trapped on a ledge. Claustrophobia? No. Containment. You are held. You are like a seed buried in the winter earth. The seed does not fight the soil. It does not fight the frost. It waits. It conserves its energy. It sleeps. It knows that spring is a celestial inevitability. The earth turns. The sun rises. It is physics. It cannot fail. You are the seed. You curl your toes, clench, release. Just to remind yourself, they are there. They are warm. The booties are doing their job. You shift your hips, rustle, skewer, the sound of nylon on foam. You find a slightly more comfortable hollow in the ice beneath the pad. You settle. You sink deeper. You enter the state of non-doing, Wu Wei, the Tao of the Death Zone. You are doing absolutely nothing. And yet, you are doing the most important thing in the world. You are surviving. Every breath is a victory. Every beat of your heart is a conquest. You don't need to climb the mountain right now. You just need to times exist times on it. Existing is the triumph. Your mind drifts away from your body. You leave the tent. In your imagination, you float upwards. Through the roof of the tent, through the storm, you rise above the South Pole. You look down. What do you see? You see the tiny cluster of tents, yellow dots in the vast whiteness. They look like fireflies caught in a blizzard, fragile, flickering, but stubborn. You rise higher. You see the ridge of Everest, the Black Pyramid, the Cornice Traverse, the Hillary Step, the summit. It is smoking, the plume of ice crystals blowing off the top. It looks like a volcano of snow. It is beautiful, terrifyingly, abstractly beautiful. It is silent up here above the wind. You rise higher still. You see the curvature of the earth. The horizon is bent. You can see the stars reflected in the atmosphere. You realize where you are. You are not really on Earth anymore. You are in the troposphere, the boundary of space. You are a spaceman. Your tent is your capsule. Your down suit is your EVA suit. You are on a mission to a hostile planet. This perspective shifts everything. The cold isn't cruel. It's just space. The wind isn't angry. It's just atmosphere. You are a visitor, an explorer. You feel a sense of detachment, the overview effect. The problems of your body, the headache, the thirst, the bladder pressure seem far away. They belong to the little man in the yellow bag. But you, the consciousness, you are vast. You are floating in the black velvet void. You are connected to the stars. You look at the Pleiades, the seven sisters. They are bright and sharp. Diamond chips. They are watching you. Sleep, they say. We are keeping watch. We have watched these mountains rise from the sea. We have watched the glaciers carve the valleys. This night is just a blink of an eye to us. Blink. You feel the comfort of deep time. Your struggle is short. The peace is long. You drift back down, slowly, like a feather falling in a vacuum, down through the clouds. Down through the wind, back into the tent, back into the bag, back into the body. Thud. You land gently. You are back in the warmth. It feels tighter now, cozier. After the vastness of space, the tent feels like a hug, a bear hug. You snuggle down. You appreciate the walls. You appreciate the limits. Limits mean safety. Infinite space is cold. This small space is warm. You check on Tenzing. He hasn't moved. He is a stone. His breathing is a steady rasp. Rasp. Wheeze. Rasp. Wheeze. It is the soundtrack of your life. You wonder if he is awake. Is he floating in the stars too? Or is he dreaming of yaks? It doesn't matter. He is a presence. A mass of heat. A radiator. You can feel his body heat radiating across the few inches between your sleeping pads. Infrared. Invisible light. Invisible warmth. Connecting you. Two mammals in a burrow. Hiding from the storm. There is a profound intimacy in this. You trust him with your life. He trusts you with his. If his regulator freezes, you will fix it. If your mask slips, he will fix it. The brotherhood of the rope extends to the sleeping bag. You feel a wave of affection, not spoken, just felt, a warm glow in the chest that mixes with the metabolic fire. Love, solidarity, survival, it's all the same thing up here. It keeps the cold out. You listen to the wind again. It has become a texture. It is no longer a sound. It is a vibration. You feel it in your back, through the sleeping pad. The mountain is trembling, shivering. Maybe the mountain is cold too? Maybe the mountain is trying to keep warm? You imagine the mountain as a giant sleeping beast, curled up. The wind is its snoring. You are a flea on the beast, nestled in its fur, snug. It is a strange thought, but it comforts you. You are not fighting the mountain. You are sleeping times on times it. You are riding it through the night, riding the planet through space. The headache has faded to a dull background hum. The nausea has settled. The oxygen has saturated your tissues. You are in equilibrium, homeostasis, the state of balance. Input equals output. Heat loss equals heat gain. You are stable. You are a rock. You are an island. You start to count. Not seconds. Not sheep. Breaths. 1. Hiss. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Hiss. Inhale. Exhale. 3. The numbers stretch out. Long. Elastic. Between 3 and 4, there is a valley of silence. You wander into that valley. It is soft there, gray, misty. There is no wind in the valley between the numbers. You sit down in the mist. You rest. Then, 4, you come back out. Then you go into the next valley. 5, deeper, darker, quieter. You are descending the staircase of consciousness, step by step, down into the cellar, where the wine of sleep is stored. Dark, heavy, vintage sleep. You take a sip. It tastes of oblivion. It tastes of relief. Your grip on the world loosens. Your hands uncurl inside the mitts. Your jaw unlocks. Your eyes roll back. The white noise of the wind becomes the sound of a river flowing underground, carrying you towards the dawn. You don't need to swim. You just need to float. The current is strong. The current is time. Time is moving forward. Even here, even now. Seconds are ticking away. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Every tick is a victory. Every tock is a step closer to the sun. You are doing it. You are enduring. You are the master of the weight. Let go. Let the river take you. Let the mountain hold you. Let the oxygen breathe you. You are nothing. You are everything. You are asleep. Deep, deep, deep. The night is old. The night is tired. You have floated on the river of the dark for hours. Drift, gasp, recover, drift. The cycle has become your entire existence. You have forgotten what the sun looks like. You have forgotten what warmth feels like. But the universe is a clockwork mechanism. It never fails. The Earth has been spinning 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, slower here, near the roof, but spinning nonetheless, turning its face back towards the star. It begins imperceptibly. You are lying in the sleeping bag, deep in the oxygen bubble. The hiss of the regulator is the only sound, but something changes. Not a sound, a feeling. The quality of the darkness shifts. It is no longer the heavy, velvet black of midnight. It is thinning. It is becoming porous. The false dawn, astronomical twilight. The sun is still 18 degrees below the horizon. It is invisible, but its atmosphere is reaching around the curve of the planet, scattering the high-energy photons, violet, indigo. You open your eyes. The inside of the tent is no longer a void. It is a shadow. You can see the outline of Tenzing's sleeping bag, a dark hump against the gray. You can see the hanging stove, a silhouette. You can see the frost on the ceiling. It is not sparkling yet. It is dull, gray dust, but it is there. The world is reassembling itself. Matter is emerging from the void. You feel a strange vibration in your chest. Hope, biological hope. Your pineal gland senses the shift. It stops producing melatonin. It whispers to your cells, prepare. The energy is coming. The nautical twilight begins. The sun is 12 degrees below the horizon. The sky outside turns a deep, bruised purple. Like the skin of a plum, the stars begin to fade, one by one. The Pleiades, the seven sisters who watched over you, dim and vanish. Orion sheathes his sword. The great bear lumbers back into its cave of light. Only the brightest stars remain. Sirius, Venus, hanging like lanterns in the purple sea. The wind changes tone. It often drops just before dawn. The morning lull. The roar softens to a hum. The hum softens to a whisper. Ha! The tent stops shaking. It stands still, respecting the arrival of the king. You slide your arm out of the sleeping bag. The air is still freezing, -35, but it feels different. It feels crisp rather than dead. You rub the frost off the face of your watch. 5 a.m. You have made it. You have survived the wolf hour. You have survived the deep middle. You are a veteran of the night. Now, the civil twilight. The sun is 6 degrees below the horizon. The light is strong enough to read by. The color shifts again, from purple to saffron. The color of the monk's robes. A deep, burnt orange band appears on the eastern horizon. It outlines the jagged teeth of the Himalayas, Makalu, Kangchenjunga, Lhotse. They are black paper cutouts against a wall of fire. And then the magic happens. The alpenglow. The sun is not up yet for you, down on the col, but the summit of Everest. The summit is 8,848 meters high. It is sitting in the jet stream. It is touching the stratosphere. It sees the sun first. Look up through the translucent fabric of the tent. You can't see the summit clearly, but you can feel the reflection. The top of the world catches fire. Ignition. The peak turns pink. Not a soft baby pink. A violent, neon, radioactive pink. The color of a rose burning in oxygen. It is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. It glows. It pulsates. It looks like a beacon. A lighthouse guiding the planet back to wakefulness. The light creeps down the mountain. Slowly, descent of the light. It paints the Hillary Step. It paints the South Summit. It paints the triangular face from pink to orange to gold. Pure, molten gold. Chomolungma is wearing her crown. The mother goddess is waking up. She is casting off her gray nightgown and putting on her robes of glory. The light hits the South Col. It hits your tent. Flash. The yellow nylon ignites. Inside, the world transforms instantly. A moment ago, you were lying in a gray cave. Now, you are lying inside a golden lantern. The light filters through the yellow fabric. It fills the tent with a warm, amber glow. It is visceral light. You can taste it. It tastes like honey. It tastes like butter. It bathes your face. Even though the air is still freezing, the light makes you feel warmer. Psychological warmth. The frost crystals on the ceiling, they wake up too. They catch the amber light. They sparkle. Diamonds, topaz, citrine, millions of tiny jewels hanging over your head. The chandelier of the death zone. You smile behind your oxygen mask. Your lips are cracked. Your throat is dry. But you smile. Because the night is over. The long, terrifying, suffocating night is dead. The sun has killed it. Apollo has slain the python. You are alive. You check your toes. They are warm. You check your fingers. They move. You take a deep breath of the oxygen. Inhale. It feels richer now. Sweet. Tenzing stirs. Rustle. Stretch. He sits up. The movement shakes the tent floor. He pulls off his mask. He looks at you. His face is puffy. His eyes are red. He looks exhausted, but he grins. A wide, white-toothed grin in the golden light. Morning, he says. It is the best word in the English language. Morning. It means we are still here. He reaches for the stove. Click. Whoosh. The blue flame roars to life again, bookending the night. Fire to fire, darkness to light. He puts the pot on. He adds more ice. Clatter, clink. The ritual of water begins again. But this time, it is the morning tea. The tea of victory. You sit up. You unzip your sleeping bag. Zip. The cold air rushes in, but you don't mind. You welcome it. It wakes you up. You peel off the layers of down. You emerge from the cocoon. You are a butterfly of the high altitude. A tired, dirty, hypoxic butterfly. But you have wings. You reach for the zipper of the tent door. You have to see it. You have to see the world. Zip. You push the flap open. Blinding. The light hits you like a physical blow. You have to squint. You fumble for your sunglasses. You put them on. The world comes into focus. Blue, white, gold. The sky is a deep, impossible blue. The snow is blinding white. The rock is stark black. It is a high contrast world. No grays, no shadows, just clarity. You look out across the plateau. The wind has scoured the snow into waves. Sastrugi. They look like a frozen ocean. Other climbers are emerging from their tents. Yellow dots popping out of yellow domes. They look like astronauts on Mars. They wave slowly. Slow motion wave. Everyone is tired. Everyone is moving in the tai chi of the altitude. But everyone is alive. You look at Lhotse, the fourth highest mountain in the world. It is right there. You could almost touch it. It is shining. You look down, miles down. You can see the clouds in the valleys below, a sea of white fluff. You are above the weather. You are above the world. You feel a surge of power. Not arrogance, just capacity. I survived the night. I can survive the day. You crawl back inside. Tenzing hands you the tea. Steam rises from the cup. Gold steam in the gold light. You drink. It is hot, sweet, strong. It kickstarts your heart. Thump, thump, thump. Strong beats, waking beats. You are ready. But, wait, the story changes here. Because times you asterisk, the listener. You are not going to the summit today. You are not putting on your crampons. You are not picking up your ice axe. Your journey is different. You have survived the night on Everest, yes. But now, it is time to come home. Time to descend. Not down the Lhotse face. Not down the Khumbu icefall. But down through the layers of consciousness. Let us begin the great descent. The reverse zoom. Imagine you are floating up out of the tent, up into the blue sky. You look down at the tiny yellow dot. You see the climber, the avatar of you drinking his tea. He is safe. He is happy. You leave him there. Goodbye, climber. Good luck on the summit. You drift higher. The mountain shrinks. It becomes a white pyramid in a sea of peaks, then a white bump on a brown map, then a speck on a blue marble. You drift across the continents. Fast. Whoosh. Over the oceans. Over the deserts. Over the forests. You are coming back to your own time zone, to your own latitude, to your own city, to your own street. It is quiet here. It is night here. The sun has not risen yet in your world. Or maybe it has set. It is the safe time. You float through the roof of your house, through the ceiling of your room. You hover over your bed. You look down. You see yourself lying there, safe, warm, protected. You drift down, float, sink, merge. You re-enter your body. Thud. A soft, gentle landing. You feel the weight of your own blanket. Compare it to the sleeping bag on Everest. Your blanket is heavy, but it is not constricting. It is soft. Cotton, wool, duvet. It smells of laundry detergent, lavender, cleanliness. It does not smell of ozone and fear. Feel your mattress. It is soft, giving. It is not a foam pad on hard ice. It cradles your spine. Feel the air in your room. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Ah, rich, thick, luxurious air. 21% oxygen. It fills your lungs effortlessly. You don't have to fight for it. You don't need a mask. You don't need a regulator. It is free. It is abundant. Your red blood cells are dancing. They are swimming in oxygen. Your heart is beating slow and steady. Thump, 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 thump. No racing. No pounding. Just the calm rhythm of a body at rest. Feel the temperature. It is perfect. Not -40. Not freezing. Just cool enough to be cozy. Warm enough to be safe. You are not in the death zone. You are in the life zone. The rest zone. The memory of the mountain begins to fade. It becomes dreamlike. The yellow tent, fading. The blue flame, fading. The screaming wind, fading to a whisper. The white noise of the storm becomes the white noise of your fan, or the rain outside your window, or the silence of your house. It is a protective noise. The mountain is still there. Everest is still standing. The wind is still blowing up there. Tenzing is still drinking his tea, but you don't have to be. There. You have visited. You have witnessed. And you have returned. You carry the peace of the mountain with you, the existential minimalism, the knowledge that you can endure, but you leave the struggle behind. You check your body one last time. Toes, warm. Fingers, relaxed. Mind, clear. You are heavy, heavier than you were on the mountain. Gravity is pulling you down, not into the ice, but into sleep, deep, terrestrial sleep. The sun is rising on Everest, but the sun is setting in your mind. The golden light is fading to a soft, twilight blue, the blue hour of sleep. Your eyes are heavy, sealed shut. You visualize the prayer flags one last time, fluttering in slow motion. Blue, white, red, green, yellow. They are waving goodbye. Sleep well, they say. Rest now. The journey is over. The wind horse carries you away, not up the mountain, but down, down into the valley of dreams, where the grass is green, where the air is thick, where the water flows freely. You drift, you float, you sink. The regulator hisses. Hush! The wind whispers. Sleep. You are safe. You are warm. You are home. Good night, climber. Good night.